You started. Did you start? Hey, Live Strong friends. Leela here at your request. I want you to know I brushed my teeth today just for you because my personal hygiene has not been at the top of the list over this past couple weeks. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that. So I wanted to say before you get started into whatever weights you decide to lift today, or if you decide to use this video, that you need to warm up, okay? Just like we always do at the gym. So maybe go for a walk first, maybe dance around your living room for at least 5 to 10 minutes, okay? You want to have your muscles warm before you attempt to start working them and, you know, flexing and holding and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with the bicep curls, okay, that we did. Very simple, very basic. But the most important thing that you want to do is make sure that you have proper form, because not only is it good for effectiveness, but you want to prevent injury, okay? That's very important. So if you're going to do it standing up, I would highly recommend doing this all in front of a mirror, okay? I know it's not always fun to look at ourselves, but it's very, very helpful. So you want your feet to be about hip distance apart, remember. Your knees are soft, meaning slightly bent, okay? But you don't want to come forward. You want to just kind of come center, okay? Kind of like you're getting ready to sit down, just slightly bent. Then your arms are going to be at your side. You don't want to hold them real tight because, like Allison had said before, that's cheating, okay? But you do want them close by. So you're going to start all the way at the bottom, and you're going to come all the way to the top, okay? And then back down. Now you can variate it. You can do one at a time. You can bring your arms out to the side, which kind of affects a little bit different part of the bicep. It's called an external rotation because you're going outward. Okay, you can even do a preacher curl. You can come more in towards the center. Okay, working different parts of the bicep. But this is probably the most basic, easy, and effective one. Triceps, I would recommend doing one weight at a time. You see my lovely weights here. They're so old and used. But you're going to do an overhead extension. Now, I know this is not easy for everybody to do standing up for different issues, maybe back or shoulder issues. But if you can, again, you're going to have the same form on the lower body, but you're going to have your elbows as closely stacked over your shoulders. You want your elbow to be ideally over your shoulder, okay? If you can only do one at a time, that's fine, using a light weight, but preferably a medium to whatever weight you consider challenging in both hands, okay? And you're just going to come down. You don't have to come all the way down because that can compromise your elbow joints and the ligaments and tissue, you know, connective tissues in that. You don't want to compromise your elbow. So just maybe about 75 to 80% down, and then up and down and up. And you don't want to do any of these moves super fast, you know, herky-jerky, because that's just going to hurt you and it's not going to be effective. So make sure you take your time coming down and going back up. Another way to do this would be on the floor, which would take all of the strain and stress off of your back. So you're just going to lay down. And again, you're going to have it's much easier now to stack your elbow above your shoulder. And you're going to come down just above your head, okay? Just be very careful. Obviously, you don't want to drop it on your head. But you're going to come down towards the crown of your head and come back up. And if you do, with a heavy enough weight, if you do this for a considerable amount of repetitions, you should feel it back here, okay, in that tricep. And then lastly for the tricep, something that I believe Allison showed you is the tricep extension, and it might be the easiest one too if you have issues about getting on the floor. So you can do, again, 2 at a time or 1 at a time, but a split stance is really good for this so that you're evenly distributing your weight between your legs here. You want that back leg to be pretty straight and the front knee definitely soft and bent, okay? And you're going to bring that elbow back, just straight back. And then you're going to create a 90-degree angle. Remember we talked about those 90-degree angles. Excuse me. And you're going to come back and then release forward, but just to that 90-degree, because once you come further forward towards your chest, you're disengaging the triceps. So you want to, and using the biceps. So you just to isolate that bicep, you're going to come back and then to 90 degrees. Back and 90 degrees. Okay? And then moving on, let's do chest next. So it's a lot easier to do chest on the floor just because you have gravity assisting you. So if you can get on your back, if you can do it on a bench, if you have like a padded bench at home or some kind of piece of furniture, that's the length of your body, your core, from the top of your head to your bottom, okay? You don't want your head hanging back. You don't want your back messed up. You want to have that support. That's really, really important. So you can do, once you get there, you can do a chest press, okay? And that this is like a field goal. Think of a football field goal, right? Your form is going to be 2 90-degree angles, and you're just going to push it straight up and down and up. And another effective move for the chest is flies. So you're going to be nearly touching the floor. If you can't and you've got a small range of motion, that's perfectly fine. But ideally you want to be as open as you can with, again, soft elbows so that you're not stressing them, okay? You're letting the muscles do the work and not the joints and connective tissues. So you're going to come all the way to shoulder width, okay? Again, if you come any closer, you're going to be disengaging the pectoralis major, which is your large chest muscle, okay? And then open and to shoulder width. And you know, sometimes if you don't want to do a full range, that's perfectly fine. It can actually exhaust or work the muscle a little harder if you keep that range of motion small and tight, okay? Other things you can do for the chest would be a push-up, which I'm not sure if we've done yet or not, but you don't have to do it on your toes, okay? I don't do them on my toes. You can do them on your knees. But the important thing is you want to have your bottom down. Okay, so you want to create like a surfboard, like a straight line from the top of your head to your tailbone, okay? So and then you're going to come down and up. Never drop your head, okay? Some people think they're going to get there quicker if they drop their head, but you're just going to hurt your neck doing that. So the chest to the floor is the goal. So you just go as far as you can and then come back up, okay? Trying to think of something else for chest. Chest is hard to work like standing upright, so I'm just going to leave it there. But if you do have a question about that and you really, really want a chest exercise standing up or in a way other than I've showed you, text me and I'll try to find something for you and send it to you. Shoulders would be next. Sorry, keep moving around here. Thanking my wonderful husband for filming this for me. I probably would not be able to do this if he wasn't here doing it for me. So shoulders, I think Allison showed you some front raises, right? Because you're working this muscle here. So you're going to either one at a time or two at a time, doesn't matter, but just make sure again that that weight of your body is going into your legs so it doesn't stress your back, okay? And you're just going to come straight up to shoulder height and then release it down, okay? And something else you can do for the medial, that's really for the front of the shoulder. So if you want to work the outside or the side, which is the medial deltoid, you're going to have your hands on the side of your hips. Again, weight in your legs, and you're going to lift it out to the side and come back like that, okay? One more would be for the back of the shoulder because it's a 3-tiered, I guess you could say a 3 muscle. But we'll bend over. We'll have our weight evenly distributed. We'll have our feet hip distance apart. We're going to kind of sit back like this, like we're almost going to do a squat. But we're going to hold it here. And we're going to bring the weights behind us, straight back. You're not going to bend your elbow. You might want to keep it a little soft, but you're working from the shoulder joint. You're working the back of the posterior delta, which is the back of the shoulder muscle. Okay? So that's shoulders. Next would be back. So I'm not sure what Allison showed you for back, but you want to sit down, okay? You could do it standing with your weight evenly distributed, but I believe if you can sit down, it'll just take some of the stress off, okay? So if you want to lean forward, either standing up in that lunge position, okay, or sitting down, but you want your spine, you want your back to be straight, okay, from the top of your head to your tailbone, okay? So you think about how you're kind of leaning forward with your chest leading, and from the top of your head to your tailbone, it's going to be straight, and it's going to be strong, okay? You want to keep it strong and supportive for what you're going to do. And these are called reverse flies. If you remember the one machine where we sit down, and we're actually sitting upright and the weight is like this, and you're pushing the weight backwards because it's going to be behind you for reverse flies. Same idea, but the weight is coming up. Okay, these are called reverse flies. So as you come up, you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades in the back together. Okay, so together and then release. Together and release. And I will be very genteel with this, okay, because You don't want to hurt yourself, okay? Lower back. Again, weight is evenly distributed. You're going to sit back like you're going to do a squat. And these are called dead rows. So basically, your arms are kind of like dead, okay? You're going to pull the weight towards your navel or your waist, okay? And then release it and pull it and release. So yeah, you're going to feel it a little bit in your arms, but where you're concentrating, where you're stabilizing the most is right here in that lower back, and that's how you're going to strengthen it, by doing that. Legs. So I pretty much demonstrated a squat several times already by doing these other exercises, but again, feet are hip distance apart. Knees are going to bend, but you're going backwards. You're not coming forwards, okay? You're going backwards with your bottoms coming down, 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 as far as you can go, because you are bending those knees. You just want to make sure when you look down, you see your toes. Your knees are not going past your toes, okay? So your arms and hands are relaxed. They're kind of a dead weight in front of you, and you're just going to come back up. Because as you come down, you're going to feel that weight all concentrated down here in your quadricep and your upper thighs, okay? Lunges. So lunges, you would have one foot in front, the other one in back, and I believe Amber did this in that excellent class that she did, what was that, almost 2 weeks ago now, and you can hold on to something, please do. You don't even need weight. You can use your body weight, okay? So you're pretending you're holding something on either side or both. You can get 2 chairs. You can get 1 chair. But you want to make sure that that foot is far enough in front and the foot in the back is far enough in back so that your heel is always lifted, okay? You don't want that heel to be down. You want it to be lifted. And you're just going to come straight down, okay? And the goal is for you to have 2 90-degree angles, one here and one in the back, okay? So again, if you have that mirror, use it, okay? And then glutes, and then I'm going to stop after that. If anybody wants abs, text me and I'll add in abs. But glutes, you can get on all 4s, okay? And you can do what's called donkey kicks. I don't know if you remember the one machine that we used, the cable-assisted machine that we showed you, where you're kicking back. So you would do one leg at a time. You could do your elbows. Blood pressure issues, stay up on your hands, okay? Just make sure you try to keep your hips square and your shoulders square, and you're just going to come up. And remember, you're moving from here because you're working that glute. So you're going to come up with that leg and down, up and down. And you don't have to come all the way down. If you do, just make sure you keep your head and neck in line with your spine. If you're going like this, you're going to hurt yourself, okay? So ideally, you want it to just start here and stop here. Come down and up, okay? And then you'll switch legs after doing at least, I would say, 8 to 12 reps on one side. You could also do bridges for glutes if you lay on your back. Feet are hip distance apart. You're going to keep your whole foot on the floor, and you're just going to lift from here. Okay, and you can hold it, or you can just keep doing reps. But like I said before, just be gentle with it, okay? You don't want to be herky-jerky and hurt yourself. Oh, and I believe Amber did these too, with support, okay? But you can work your glutes standing, which I know might be beneficial for a number of you to do that. But I'm just going to pretend I'm holding on to something. I was going to try to grab something, but I'm trying not to let my husband have to follow me around so much with the camera. So holding on to something, you're just going to put all your weight in one leg, and you're going to lift that back leg, okay? Remember, the concentration is here because you're working that glute. So everything here from your head down to the foot that is grounded is still, okay? All your weight is going into that lower leg that's still. And you're just lifting from here. And you do one at a time for those. Let's just go ahead and add abs in now. So if somebody wants it, you'll have it. So the easiest way to do abs for me is on the floor. You can do them standing, and I'll show one way you can do them in a second. So with abs, curls are beneficial. You can do oblique curls. That whittles our waist. You can do just the center, which some people like to say is not effective, but it is if you do it properly. So to do it properly, you want to make sure that your head and neck are relaxed and you're just gently cupping your hands. You're not pulling on your neck or your head. Okay, so you're just, all your fingertips are open and they're just gently supporting the back of your head, okay? And you're working from here. Okay, you're not working from here, you're just lifting this. You're coming from the core. And when you twist, same thing. You're just adding a little turn. But also, one more important thing is that you keep your elbow out of your peripheral. You don't want to be like this, and you don't want to see your elbow, because then you know you're starting to pull on your head and neck, okay? Or you're letting your arms do more of the work than your core. For a standing one that I can think of right now would be getting that elbow to the knee, okay? But again, be wary of your back and make sure that you're putting most of your body weight in your legs, and that when you're coming, you're kind of keeping your core nice and tight and straight for stabilization, okay? So you can meet that elbow to knee, but this is not what we want, okay? Because then we're jeopardizing our back. We want to try to keep it where our core is nice and stable. I think that's all I have, but if you have specific questions or want to see something different, let me know. If I can't do it or I'm not real experienced with it, I'll send you a video of something. You need to do, if you remember, at least 8 reps, and if you're doing one side at a time, 8 reps on one side, 8 on the other, and you want to do at least 2 to 3 sets, okay? You can do upwards of like 12 to 15 if 8 is too easy and you've done it 2 or 3 times and it's still too easy. Start adding on to it. Then do 10 reps 2 to 3 times and then 15, okay? That's all I have. I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope to talk to you soon.